The place that helps one remember the revered poet and simple human being, Tunjathu Ramanujan Ezhuthachan, is the Tunchan Memorial. It is quite surprising that an exact picture of the poet is unavailable and only vague sketches or portraits are available to understand the man himself. Not much is known of Tunchan Ezhuthachan's early life, his birth, parents, or childhood, as these were not documented. Based on old decree and stories associated with other eminent writers, it is to be believed that he possibly lived in the 16th century. The name is also a topic of debate, as Tunchan is taken from the place where he was born, and Ezhuthachan, as per Malayalam, is a person who writes letters. So it could be a title given to him, so one does not know what his parents would have named him. The caste of Ezhuthachan is also not certain. Some consider him to be from the Shudra community, while others consider him to be from the Nair family. What one knows though is that as a child he was a boy with uncommon intelligence and travelled to different parts of South India where he is said to have learned Tamil, Telugu, Sanskrit and other Dravidian languages. Though he is considered to be the father of Malayalam language, his main contributions are the mainstreaming of the alphabets from the traditional Vattezhuthu and used words free of Sanskrit verses. Ezhuthachan adopted a genre of poetry called Kilippat, which is a beautiful way to sing the Vedas and stories. The parrot statue one sees at the Tunchan Memorial is a symbolic representation of the Kilippat genre liked by Ezhuthachan. The Ezhuthani used by the poet is also depicted here. The most unique composition of his is the Adhyatma Ramayana Kilippat. This is based on his vision where he depicts Lord Rama as not just an ideal god but also an ideal man. The deviation in this thought is based on the belief that Lord Rama behaved in a similar way as a human giving into different emotions in a person's life. His other work is detailing the story of Lord Krishna in his celebrated poem Sri Mahabhagavatam. In this, he is making one understand the literal story of the Pandavas and omits all the stories that are irrelevant to them, which makes the epic much concise for all to read. The Tunchan Memorial depicts many of the most important aspects of the great poet's life in form of edicts, mandapams and gardens. Established in the year 1964, this memorial is a place close to where the man himself is said to have lived. For centuries after his death, the place was in ruins, and it was only when the Zamorin Crown Prince in 1901 took an initiative that an idea to have such a memorial was taken up by people around. It was not until 6 decades later that this idea became a reality. The foundation stone to build this memorial was laid in 1961. The government appointed a committee to look after the memorial, and eminent literary personalities like S.K. Pottekkatt and M.T. Vasudevan Nair have graced the administration with their intellect, making this place an important place for art, literature, history, and language research. Today, the memorial has a beautiful landscape which houses some important structures. The Saraswati Mandapam, which is believed to be where the original house of Ezhuthachan stood. The groves take you to the Kanira Maram, which is said to be from the time of Ezhuthachan, and was also where he started an open air school. The leaves of the trees are said to be very sweet. There is also a small temple here, which is said to be the place where he prayed. There is also the large complex of Malayalam Museum here, where the storyline of the poet, along with many of his works, are exhibited. It's indeed a great addition to help all know the poet better through his literature. Alphabets from the traditional Vatte and